Towing the UPA's line on black money, the Modi government informed the Supreme Court today that it cannot disclose the names of foreign account holders with alleged black money. The centre's new stand flies in the face of Narendra Modi's sharp attacks on the Congress in the run-up to the Lok Sabha polls. Allegations from the opposition now flying thick and fast that the NDA government is shielding the corrupt. Our top story tonight comes from the Supreme Court.
सुप्रीम कोर्ट को नाम देने में 3 साल लगा दिए। परसों जब सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने डंडा मारा तब काले धन बेईमान लोगों के 18 लोगों के नाम उन्होंने सुप्रीम कोर्ट को दिए। किसको बचा रहे थे माँ बेटे? ये चोर लुटेरों को क्यों बचा रहे थे?
Modi's strident anti-graft stand in the run-up to the polls. But barely months into power, those words are back to haunt his government. The centre has told the Supreme Court it cannot name offshore account holders, citing the same double taxation treaty alibi used by the UPA.
If confidentiality is not to be maintained at all, then execution of treaties will become impossible. And most important, the object of this case, that is to get black money by getting information from different countries, that object will be completely defeated.
The NDA's U-turn on black money sparked angry responses from anti-graft crusaders.
Ram Jethmalani putting the Modi government on the back foot by making sensational allegations in the Supreme Court, accusing the current government of continuing with the UPA government's moves of protecting the black money accused.
But it is the Congress which is claiming vindication.
Well, it shows their double-speak, double standards. When in opposition, they have one yardstick to mislead and confuse the people. When in government, they have a different yardstick.
While the BJP has been made to eat its words, the black money issue has been a cherished weapon for it when out of power.
So the most important issue as far as black money is concerned is the intention. And is there any iota of doubt as far as the intention of this government is concerned? We had formed the SIT in the day one itself.
The party now realizing the hard way that poll eve rhetoric may fall flat when it comes to actual governance. With Jaskirat Singh Bawa and Ashar Khan in Delhi, Bureau Report, Headlines Today.
The big question, is there no difference between the UPA and the NDA when it comes to the black money issue? Is there no difference between the two major parties? Let's raise the big question then. Joining me now, Sambit Patra joins me, national spokesperson of the BJP. Joining me also Salman Sood, spokesperson of the Congress party, and Biswajit Bhattacharya, former additional solicitor general who has tracked this matter in the courts. Appreciate all of you joining us here on News Today at 9. Sambit Patra, let's look at the facts. BJP President Nitin Gadkari says on January 18th, 2011, any reluctance in declaring the names of Swiss bank account holders will simply raise doubts about the integrity of the people at the helm. Lal Krishna Advani says last year, I would appeal to the Prime Minister not to hide any names of people who have black money in foreign accounts. Ravi Shankar Prasad, why this dogged refusal to reveal the names of those who have accounts abroad? The country has a right to know and expects the names to be made public. How do you explain your stand today in court, Mr. Patra?
Yes, Rajdeep, you just allow me a few seconds. These are very important questions that you have raised, and I would be more than loving to answer them. First and foremost, you began the debate by saying that is there no difference between Bharatiya Janata Party and the Congress as far as the black money issue is concerned? I would say the story is all about differences between the two political parties in the sense that this issue of black money was raised by Bharatiya Janata Party, was tracked by Bharatiya Janata Party, and in fact today we have our intentions absolutely clear. When the very first day we formed the SIT, treaty according to what the Supreme Court wanted. And secondly, the kind of treaty that we have with Switzerland today is in fact showing that the intentions of Bharatiya Janata Party is absolutely clear. Now coming to the technicality of the issue and as to what the previous leaders had said, I mean the leaders had previously said, you're absolutely right. We also had demanded at umpteen number of times that the names of the people who had stashed money abroad should be declared. We have to see the sequence of event, the chronology of the event over here. When the whole thing went to Supreme Court and the petitioner was Ram Jethmalani, Supreme Court wanted the names to be given to Ram Jethmalani, and in a closed envelope 26 names were handed over to Mr. Ram Jethmalani. And we also are aware of the fact that there was a double taxation treaty, avoidance treaty of 1995 June, according to which the names cannot be declared. Now when the names were made, was submitted to Mr. Ram Jethmalani, Germany took exception to this. It took an offense and said that if you continue doing this, disclosing the names, then we would not be supplying you with the kind of information that would be very essential to unearth the names of those people who have stashed black money abroad. So keeping this in view, we became aware of the fact that, well, yes, we should not let our sources become dry. We have to see to it that the sources of information are still intact, and that is the reason as to why.
Dr. Patra,
yes,
as far as let me, for the audience, and I hope we can also play what Arun Jaitley said today. There is a distinction between what was said with respect to Swiss bank account holders and revealing the names of those who allegedly had accounts in banks in Liechtenstein, on the basis of which, when the UPA refused to reveal the names, you said the UPA is hiding names. Today, Mr. Arun Jaitley says, it is a legal limitation that I have. There is a double avoidance taxation treaty, which was signed in the year 1995 with Germany, which prevents me from revealing the names. Now, all I am saying, could Mr. Arun Jaitley, could all the BJP leaders have said the same thing when they were in opposition? Because when Pranab Mukherjee said this when he was finance minister, he was accused of shielding the corrupt. That's the limited point I'm making. Today, what you are saying is exactly the same thing that the Congress spokesperson was saying when the Congress was in power.
No, I'm not saying the same thing, Rajdeep. If you would see, I was bringing out the technicalities of the matter, that only when very recently, the August 2014 Supreme Court's verdict, in which 26 names were submitted to Ram Jethmalani, thereafter, Germany made an objection to it, that if this be the thing, then sources will become dry. And we have taken lessons from this most important statement of Germany, that we should not allow our sources of information to become dry, and that's the reason as to why the names have not been declared. Had we known that Germany would be offensive, we would have not demanded the names, and as Mr. Jaitley today said, that in due course of time, the names would be declared in a way that would be legal. So we are not shying away.
Am I to understand that the BJP is giving an assurance based on what Arun Jaitley said today, that the names of those in Swiss who have Swiss bank accounts, he claims that a team has been in touch with the Swiss and that the names will be revealed? Is the BJP giving an assurance? Because otherwise, there will be the skeptics who will say this is Bofors all over again. When you are in opposition, you said, I will reveal all the names of the Bofors account holders. The moment the BJP came to power, or then Janata Party came to power, the names were not revealed. Are you giving me an assurance?
No,
based on what I heard from Arun Jaitley today, that the conversations with the Swiss authorities have resulted in the government having the confidence that the names of those with Swiss bank account will be revealed?
Now, there are two things. First and foremost, Mr. Jaitley categorically and emphatically stated that our ambition, our aim is to declare the names of those people who have stashed the cash abroad. Only thing is, it will follow a legal route. I mean, we will follow legalities before we declare the name. Secondly, as far as the agreement with the Swiss is concerned, a discussion about the automatic sharing of information is going on. But there are other clauses also in which time-bound, in a time-bound manner, information would be shared with India if India performs its homework.
Sambit, the fact is that, you know, the reason why I am pursuing this is because during the campaign, the BJP said, give us 100 days. 100 days is what you said, black money will be brought from abroad. Today I tried to speak to Baba Ramdev. He said, please ask me any other question. Don't ask me a question on black money. The same Baba Ramdev who was going around the country saying, I will ensure within 100 days black money comes back. But Salman Soz, respond to Sambit Patra. Based on what Arun Jaitley is saying, he is claiming that the NDA, unlike the UPA, is putting this on fast track. They are in constant touch, he says, with the Swiss authorities, and they will ensure within a fixed time frame, to use the words of Dr. Patra, that the names will be revealed. And in the case of Liechtenstein, because of the taxation agreement, they can only be revealed once charges are framed.
Rajdeep, I think the BJP's fast track of 100 days leads to nowhere. I think hypocrisy is writ large over this party. They made lots of promises during the election campaign, lots of false promises. Do not tell me that Arun Jaitley, the legal luminaries, Arun Jaitley, Ravi Shankar Prasad, and even their sympathizer, Mr. Ram Jethmalani, did not know anything about the double taxation avoidance agreements. They knew for a long time. These treaties have been in place for a long, long time. They knew everything. They just whipped up passions all across the country. They got Baba Ramdev into the act. They benefited from Anna Hazare's movement. And now, today, Mr. Jethmalani says, and I quote about the government's application, this application, in quotes, can only be made by crooks who have illegally parked their ill-gotten money abroad and not by a democratically elected government. Now, I fully expect Baba Ramdev and Anna Hazare to come out tomorrow, starting tomorrow, and launch an agitation against this government and against
Mr. Soos, Mr. Soos, I think we need to, Mr. Soos, I think we need to make a distinction with the matter.
Black money back to this country.
Mr. Soos, the matter in the Supreme Court pertains to the 26 account holders who allegedly have accounts in banks in Liechtenstein. That agreement is allegedly governed by a double taxation avoidance agreement with Germany. What Mr. Jaitley is claiming today, he is claiming that as far as the accounts in Swiss banks go, there we will bring them back. To that extent, he claimed we are different to the UPA.
I know.
The UPA did not give us a commitment on Swiss bank account holders. Mr. Jaitley is giving a commitment on that.
You know, their words do not matter to the people of India. What matters is action. What matters is results. And as far as you and I and everybody else in this country knows, they talked about getting everything within 100 days. The Prime Minister made tall promises about how he's going to act on black money and bring back every paisa. And no, you cannot come in. You had your time. It is my turn.
By the way, it's BJP which is coming in. Don't you worry. Come on.
The point is, they have to explain to the people. No, please. They have to explain to the people of this country, why is it that they have not followed up on the promise to bring back black money within 100 days? Where is it?
Can I take this away? Can I take this away?
All these technicalities, all these technicalities are basically an eyewash. That's what they are.
Rajdeep,
Dr. Patra, hold on. Dr. Patra, you had a say. Let me bring in Bishwajit Bhattacharya as an independent voice. You're a former Additional Solicitor General. You've tracked this case in the courts. Is there merit in what the government is now claiming, that because there is a double taxation avoidance agreement, these names cannot be made public, not public till charges are framed? Till then, there is confidentiality, non-disclosure governs, is what the government is claiming. Is that a valid argument, or is the government trying to escape in technicalities, Mr. Bhattacharya?
Rajdeep, let me put it bluntly.
Yes.
That to answer your question, whenever there is a conflict between an international law and a domestic law, the Supreme Court has categorically stated that it is the domestic law that shall prevail. And I may just cite two citations of the Supreme Court, 2012, Volume 4 SCC, page 362, and 2012, Volume 7 SCC, page 364. Having said that, let me say that neither the petitioner nor the respondent government, in my opinion, seem to have analyzed the nuances of the law. Having a Swiss bank account per se is not a crime under the Indian law any longer. From 1st of June 2000 and after the sunset period, I can have a Swiss bank account legitimately. Suppose you disclose all the names. Even then, there is no presumption in law that they are guilty, because under the Foreign Exchange Management Act, Section 6, subclause 4, a person resident in India can hold, own, transfer, invest, acquire foreign exchange, foreign security and immovable property abroad,
but he is
provided these were acquired, held while he was a person resident outside India.
Sir,
nobody has studied the law.
Sir, I agree.
Today,
I agree that no one may have studied the law, but let's be clear.
The unfortunate,
there are illegal. Let's make a
bankruptcy
distinction
in the country is the unfortunate. I say that this is the intellectual bankruptcy of the country. Is nobody is studying the law, and everybody is blaming the other person.
But isn't there a difference, Mr. Bhattacharya, between an illegal foreign bank account, one which is not revealed, which is not provided to the Reserve Bank of India, and one which is legitimately held? And therefore, if you say that domestic law must prevail over international law, is the government in a sense being disingenuous before the Supreme Court when it claims to the Supreme Court that because there is a double taxation avoidance agreement, hence we cannot reveal the names? In your view, should the government not be relying on the double taxation avoidance agreement to avoid giving these names?
Rajdeep, you are absolutely correct.
Yes.
Now the government, what reasoning government is adopting is incorrect. But government is on the right path, but with a wrong reasoning. I think government should be better advised with the particular laws which are in place in the country. Reserve Bank of India does not come into the picture. When I am telling you I can have a Swiss bank account, legitimately you can have a Swiss bank account. And we have repealed Foreign Exchange Regulation Act, which was a criminal offence. From 2002, Foreign Exchange Management Act is a civil contravention. So therefore, prosecution under FEMA cannot take place. Now, if income tax authorities in their own wisdom still are making an investigation, then indefinitely they cannot say we will not reveal the names.
Okay,
so therefore you must give this government some chance.
That's an important point.
Last government, you see, from 4th July...
Mr. Bhattacharya, hold on. You made an important point with Sambit Patra you've got to respond to, because Arun Jaitley today says when charges are filed, we will reveal the names. Now we don't, you know, the HSBC account case has been going on for the last 4 years. There are other cases which have gone on for even longer than that. So the question is the government trying to buy time? You know, the skeptical Indian public will believe the government is trying to buy time, is trying to take cover under technicalities of the law of this double taxation avoidance agreement, an agreement which I might tell you, Mr. Patra, was signed by Narasimha Rao in 1995. There was a NDA government between 98 2004. You did not repeal that agreement. Suddenly today, you are looking at that 95 agreement to avoid disclosing names.
There are two very important things which need to come in with the debate over here to clarify the things. First and foremost, what our lawyer friend from Calcutta was saying, that the government in fact does not know...
I'm not in Calcutta, I'm just...
Go ahead, please go ahead.
Holiday here.
Please go ahead.
Okay. I mean, what you were saying was that the domestic law and the international law, their significance in the Supreme Court has to be deciphered. Now, over here, this bit of article is very important. It is a clarification which the government of India has wanted from the Supreme Court of India vis-a-vis the orders of Supreme Court dated 4/7/2011 and 1/5/2014. These are very important clarifications. Clarification number 1. Please clarify that despite laying down the general principle that no treaty can be entered into or interpreted such that constitutional treaty is derogated from, this honorable court has not prohibited the government of India to enter into a treaty wherein a commitment may be made by the government to maintain the confidentiality of information received as
this is exactly what the Congress spokesperson told me 1 year ago.
No,
the Congress spokesperson on the black money debate precisely took refuge under this very clause.
Because
that's the difference.
No, Rajdeep, for God's sake, these clarifications were sought this year, 2014. So the Congress government would not have told you last year. Second clarification that the government has sought
Mukherjee used this clarification when he was finance minister and was asked this on the floor of parliament, Dr. Patra.
Just a second, Rajdeep, let me complete a line. Second clarification is clarify that the right to privacy is an integral part of right of life, and accordingly information received under a tax treaty cannot be disclosed even under a proceeding under Article 32(1) of Constitution. Now the court today has agreed that it it'll hear to these clarifications on 28th of October and will give its readings on it. Let us wait for 28th of October to get a clearance on these two issues.
I am happy to get a clearance from the courts on the 28th, but Salman Soz, is this simply a political hot potato? You know, the skeptical Indian public will believe this is a game of Noora Kushti of football which goes on with black money. The fact is, the real black money is in India, often in the real estate sector, used by politicians during elections. And yet you make such a big thing at election time about Swiss bank accounts. And both the UPA and the NDA, frankly, seem to lack the political will to actually identify some of the really big names who really have the big black money.
Well, Rajdeep, I agree with you that there's a lot of black money in this country and there is a lot of black money outside, and we've got to get to all of it. Now, during the election campaign, you know, and everybody else knows what the BJP said. They came after the Congress party for, you know, oh, you're not bringing in black money. The Prime Minister said something to the effect that, why is the Congress hesitant to bring back black money? Because they know who it belongs to. I'll bring back every paisa and all the stuff. This is what the Prime Minister said. I tell the Prime Minister and the Bharatiya Janata Party that the role of every new government is to add on to the work of the previous government. If the previous government got in some distance to, say, getting to black money sources, then your job is to not redo what the UPA did, as Sambit seems to be telling us, but to actually build on what the UPA did. Now, you know, Sambit would like us to drown in his kind of technicalities, and he's tying himself into knots. But the public at large is not interested in his technicalities. The public wants to know, where is the money? Show us the money. That's all we care about.
We asked you also, Mr. Soz.
You promised.
We asked the same question to the Congress. Where is the money?
That is your job. Now, do not make excuses. Just do not.
Rajdeep, can I come in?
Do not make excuses.
Can I pour some water on my friend?
On your promises, because that's what you said you would do. You've been saying nothing so far, Sambit. You've said nothing so far. You've been tying yourself up in knots. You're trying to make technical arguments.
Your audio is not working. You did not understand as to what I said.
I am going to call a timeout. I'm going to call a timeout. The last thing the audience needs is crosstalk.
Just tell us where the money's coming in. Where is the money?
Let's leave it there. Let's leave it there.
Rajdeep, can I just intervene for a minute?
Yes, I'm going to give you the final word, Mr. Bhattacharya. Give us the final word. What is it that the viewer out there should take out from what he's heard today? Should he be confident, in your view, that the black money account holders' names will be revealed?
Now, Rajdeep, my final word is that all those who are holding accounts abroad and whose names have been in possession of the government, they must suo motu and voluntarily declared. Now the government is taking a wrong stand that Germany is not allowing us. But if the account holder themselves say, I am 100% sure majority of them will come out clean, because it is not a crime to have a Swiss bank account. Suppose they have earned their funds legitimately while they were persons resident outside India, then no case will survive against them, and only there will be a microscopic minority of the persons who may have committed fraud, who may have committed
saying voluntary disclosure,
illegality to all the funds. So therefore, I must implore upon those persons who have stashed fund abroad to suo motu and voluntarily declare to the government, so that they may come out clean of it. At the highest, they may end up paying tax in it. No prosecution will survive if they suo motu declare.
Mr. Bhattacharya, you've given some piece of advice to those who have black money accounts in Swiss banks and in other parts of the world. Sambit Patra, Salman Soz, Mr. Bhattacharya, former Additional Solicitor General, appreciate your joining us on our first talking point here. What's my take on the issue? Here's what I believe. Successive Indian governments have learned that it is easier to speak about bringing back black money from abroad than actually ensuring it returns. By not disclosing the names of those with black money accounts, the Modi government is acknowledging its limitations, much like the UPA government had previously. It is now for the Supreme Court to enforce its writ. Keeping names hidden in sealed envelopes will only add to the suspicion that the ruling class is protecting its own.